What's up, everybody? We're back at it again, live with Brandon Blakney. Got another banger for y'all today. You know we're pushing the agenda, really just pushing lines, man. We doing it for the culture. I'm here to bring the noise. So I'm gonna bring it every single time now. Loaded show for you guys today. First off, we got Coach Holcomb Faye, Whit Holcomb Faye, assistant coach at Parkland High School, and point guard Camian Shell, sophomore point guard of Parkland High School. While back, Parkland made some headlines also with Wheatmore High School. A game between the two schools ended up getting canceled, and it was just a big mess. A certain newspaper put out a tabloid, and stuff just wasn't true. I call it a tabloid. I don't want to say an article. We caught up with Coach Whit Holcomb Faye, came in to get their side of the story, to get Parkland's side, and really just to get to the bottom of things. And after the video surfaced of the actual events, it just left a lot of it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. A lot of people had jumped the gun prematurely. It happens. We're all human, but that doesn't make it right. It's just it's a situation underlining something bigger, and it's just a bigger problem that's going on that we continue to see in society today. Dealing with certain racisms, not certain, just racism in general. And a lot of people are afraid to talk about it. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge it. But the thing is, it is still real. It is still happening. And it has spilled over even into high school sports. And we've seen it before. And it's just, a lesson that we can learn. So we'll talk about that, dive into that. Also, man, some state champions were crowned recently. Southwest Guilford, one of the best teams in North Carolina's history this year. I'm going to just go out there and say it. This team was extraordinary. We'll definitely look back when I caught up with them earlier before the season even started at Open Gyms. So we'll take a look back at what Coach Shavers, Coach Price had to say. Coach Shavers recently retired, so congratulations to him. Great career. Shout out to him. And I caught up with them earlier in the season, so we'll go back, take a look, take a little peek, to see what they had to say back when, before the season started. A little flashback. 32-0, 12-0 in conference play. Would have really been a treat to go see these guys compete for national titles at Dix Nationals. Not gonna happen due to certain rules under our sports governing body, but nonetheless, great season. Also, the underdog Bishop Mcguinness claiming a state title as well in the 1A division. Just the cardiac kids, man. The ninth seed pushing it to the limit. Their last 4 games won by a combined 10 points. Are you kidding me? So we'll definitely look at them, talk about that a little bit. Also want to touch on another program really making some noise. North Davidson. North Davidson has really built a basketball culture as of late. Coach Mullins, Coach Snyder, both those gentlemen are doing a great job with this program, creating a lot of energy around it. The fan base is serious. Always known, they got a good football program. They have a good football program, but excuse me. The Hoops program is on the rise though, so we'll definitely talk about them a little bit. Themis Folks, man, 35 points per game this year? Are you kidding me? Walking bucket. We'll definitely talk about them. I also recently caught the Winston-Salem Wolves in action. Salem Wolves. And they have been hooping, man. First year, 4-0, leading the ECBL Northwest Division. Really putting in work. I've seen them on 2 different occasions. Some local talent there, so we'll touch on them a bit as well. And last but not least, we'll definitely dive in. Man, the HBCU culture is really real. And I didn't personally attend the HBCU, but at UNC Pembroke we did compete against them a lot, and you saw just a different. It was a different level of passion on their campuses what you see, the energy, it's just on a whole nother level, man. It not much compares to it. I was actually fortunate enough to attend and cover Winston-Salem State's senior night. Man, the energy there is unreal. Just the culture is really there. How they incorporate the fans, the crowd, the music, man. Definitely, I think that's an opportunity just in general that a lot of more students should consider coming out of high school. Because coming out, I didn't. I was kind of against it just because, we all have our reasons for wanting to attend, the schools, and we think at certain ages we know it all. But I'm telling you, HBCU culture, man, something that really should be considered by more students. Sports are A1. We're seeing teams make the tournament. We saw North Carolina Central make it. Norfolk State beating Alabama in the NIT. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing HBCU talent really, really cross over. And not to mention Amir Hinton, the young man out of Shaw, Amir Hinton, declared for the draft early. Probably going to get drafted. Walking bucket. CIAA Player of the Year, best player in Division II basketball. Just shows that you can make it from different routes, different journeys. Just respect your journey, because your journey is yours, and that's the great thing about it. So, with no further ado, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Let's dive into the Parkland interview with Coach Whit, Camian, and enjoy.
My name is Whit, Holcomb, Faye. I'm assistant coach here at Parkland High School.
Coach, recently you guys have made headlines off the court as well. Speak on the incident with Wheatmore. I know the initial report was kind of fake news in a way that just seemed like it was rushed to get one side of the story out.
Yeah, of course. It was a simple tie-up jump ball situation. We felt like two players trying to get the ball. Our player, Camian Shell, and their player, number 50. The referees blew the whistle, called a foul on number 50. Pushes Camian away. Our player runs over there, kind of to the defense, and then he kind of pushes him as well. We didn't think it was a big deal. They ejected both players. And we were okay with that. We sent our player back to the locker room. They never sent theirs back to the locker room. But the head coaches met, and the head coach from there said they wanted to win. And as long as we went away with the win, I guess we were okay with that.
Facts. What was the conversation like at that meeting of the head coaches, the dialogue, going back and forth?
Well, I think the head coach for us, my brother, I think he told his coach that he needed to get their players under control. Their coach maybe didn't like that, or I don't know. Then there wasn't much more discussion. Their coach discussed something with the refs. Our coach discussed something with the refs. The ref came back to us and said they wanted to win.
Did you guys feel like they wanted to get the same game?
No, we were up 17-5. We were playing hard. We were really into it. And yeah, I just think they didn't want to watch it.
You've seen basketball at every level. Is there anything that struck you about the incident, the foul that opened his eyes or normal basketball?
I thought it was just normal basketball. I thought their coach overreacted. Well, I don't know if he's a coach or not, but
I believe he was in the
whoever was filling in, I don't know. It was nothing.
Do you think that had anything to do with it, how it made it could have been a little different if the actual head coach there got it down?
Probably, I guess. When we went to Wheatmore to play with them, they beat us fair and square.
What was the initial reaction? Guys saw the court and the crowd was like, it's chaotic, unsafe.
I mean, it made us mad, obviously, because we know that that's not what happened. Obviously, we were there. It caught us by surprise to see what they actually said about us choking somebody, about us punching somebody, about our fans following, all that stuff, just all of it was lies. And we were just surprised that they took it there because we have the video. So it's like, why would you lie when you know that it's on video? Just no morals on their part. not the whole community or the whole school, just the people involved.
Yeah. You guys will put them on the schedule again?
It's not up to me, but I would. They've had too many problems in the past. This isn't their first incident. As far as I know, I mean, obviously I wasn't there, but from what I hear, they've had a few issues in the past, so I don't see why anybody would schedule that.
How do y'all want to continue about excellence from the kids and just continue to lift the name like y'all have to continue?
Just try to teach them that they're gonna have to go through situations like this in life, unfortunately, especially with the time now and the president that we have. Being the race issues and the one side versus the other, they're heightened right now, and it's just trying to teach them how to get through it and just try to go about it the right way, get through it even if we're falsely accused of something. Try to handle it the right way and try to let the right people take care of it.
What was the interview like in the locker room
I mean, they were frustrated at the time because they both got pushed.
Yeah.
And didn't do anything. And I believe he may have been assessed to tech and Jordan so I feel obviously they were probably mad because they both got pushed and didn't touch anybody. So,
Camian Shell, play point guard. I'm a sophomore at Parkland High School.
Recently, I know you guys were in the headlines with Wheatmore. Just being on the court in that moment, speak about what was going through your mind out there.
I mean, I knew it was chippy. I didn't know how it was going to end, but it was a chippy play. It didn't have to go like that, but it went.
Had it been building up like throughout the game?
Yeah. Like recently, earlier in the game, they were not playing really physically, like wet basketball. So it was boiling up to that.
Was that the same energy in the first game when y'all played them? Y'all had played them before, right?
The first game, it was a good game. I mean, they beat us, but it wasn't that like the second game.
What was the dialogue between you and the guy from Wheatmore? And I saw Jordan kind of come in. What was going on there?
It was a foul, so I was just looking for him to give the rest of the ball back.
Was it a normal foul?
Yeah, it was just a normal foul. So I was just looking for giving the rest of the ball back. He tried to do a jump ball, and I guess tried to take it from him. I wasn't really finna let him take it from him. So I guess he got mad and just started taking his anger out of me.
From the perspective of seeing what y'all saw in the newspaper the next day, actually when we saw the video and how it just wasn't true, like what was going through y'all mind just knowing that they had blatantly just lied?
We from the get-go, we knew everybody wasn't on our side, so it really didn't faze us. I mean, people come through what they do. So we can get us as a team because we all come together to build stronger bonds on this team. We know everybody's not on our side, so that can just the way people look at us.
Yeah.
So
great interview there. Big shout out to both those guys coming on, giving me their time. The future's bright for Parkland. They're bringing back a lot of talent, so they're going to be fun to watch over the next couple years. Young coaching staff, young hungry coaching staff as well. Coach Whit, Coach Travis, two of the brightest in the game in the state coming up. Definitely keep an eye out. Speaking of keeping an eye out, keep an eye out for those rings. State champions, Southwest Guilford, undefeated on the year, 32-0. We got to take a look at the numbers just a little bit. Regular season, these guys beat teams by an average of 30 points per game. Are you kidding me? It makes your voice go high up like that. Are you kidding me? 30 points per game on the reg? All 5 starters for this group averaged double digits this season. All 5 guys made all-district teams, earned all-district honors. I mean, it was really well balanced. Probably one of the most balanced teams in their school history for sure. Not even a probably there. Coach Gosh Shavers, Coach of the Year, went out on top. Jaden Turner, District 7 first team. Keyshawn Langley, District 7 Player of the Year. I mean, these guys just dominated. They were loaded. They upped their scoring margin in the playoffs and were beating teams by 35 plus. No team was safe. every lead was safe, and they capped it off. A great season, honoring two guys, Christian Martin, who was injured during the playoff run, and also Des Woods, another teammate of theirs that passed last year. They definitely honored both those guys, and it was a great season for a program with a very, very proud tradition. These coaches were hype, and they always believed in the beginning. Let's take a look at what was being said and the mindset and how everything started for this group.
We're definitely loaded with seniors. Of course, you have the twins came back. We have Jaden Turner, we have Joel Pettiford, we have Amelie Huggins, we have Christian Martin. You combine them with the twins, you throw in a Bryce Causey or Nazik, we're going to be really loaded at basically all positions, top to bottom. It's going to be a fight for a starting five. You know, we haven't even have a starting five set yet, so we're just battling every day to get our positions. It's just going to be a grind out season. And we hope to win a lot of games, which we should.
My name is Guy Shavers. I'm the head coach at Southwest Guilford High School in High Point. And I've been here for 14 years.
Yes, sir.
And I'm looking forward to this season. We've got a solid team coming out, so I'm hoping that people will come out and see what we're seeing. Well, even going back to this summer, before the twins just announced that they were coming back, we saw some special things. We were able to go down to Charlotte. We went down to camp at UNC Charlotte and Queens, played against some of the better teams from the state, actually, and in that area between the two camps. And some kids came in from South Carolina also, and we held our own pretty good. So coming off of 20 wins last year, we knew we had a little something, but we wanted to add more based off of what we were able to do on just the kids understanding who we are and what we're doing and finding a new identity. Each year is separate from the last year. I mean, you're connected as a program, but we wanted to find out what this year. So we played some Butler and some Independence and held our own, and that's what we ask of our kids, was to not back down. And I know a lot of times we talk to people and they're asking, where's High Point? So we want them to know where High Point was, and that's what we found this summer. So then you add two of the better guards in the state. They're already Division I signees. That just helped step us to another level. We already thought that we could play with most of the teams in 3A. And I mean, by my opinion, we've got the toughest, if not one of the toughest conferences in the state. When you mention Dudley and a Smith and a Tabor and a Parkland and all of those guys, you know, so it kind of gets us battle tested. So we kind of know a little bit of what to expect, although we didn't see much of those guys. We did see enough to say we have some special things. And I think what makes us stick out, we're probably a homeless Golden State. I hope we don't take that the wrong way, but I mean that from the aspect of our depth. You know, we come off the bench and we've got guys that were, if they were in other parts of the county, they'd probably be starting or whatever like that. But some of our guys coming off the bench are going to be pretty good. So, I mean, that's what I saw this summer, is that we could hold our own and we had pretty good depth. So we're at least 2 deep at each spot, which I don't know if I've ever been able to say that before.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that prematurely because we get in the season, that thing might be 7. So that was a really good, it's a pleasant thing, and it's just a good group of guys.
Moving on to another state champion, Bishop Mcguinness. Underdog really that caught a lot of teams off guard, but they didn't surprise anybody in that locker room. This is a very confident group that really believed in themselves, and they had a coach that believed in all of them as well. Coach Josh Thompson, one of the most respected in the game, just a winner, and also he does a good job of building character into these guys, bringing them up, and just building confidence, instilling confidence in these guys. 24-8 on the season. They came into the playoffs as a 9th seed and won some big games. 6-4 in conference play. I mentioned earlier, last 4 games they played on the year, last 4, won by a combined 10 points. So these guys went down to the wire, made clutch plays, and really did what they had to do. They lost 3 times to Winston-Salem Prep. Ended up beating them in the 3rd round of the playoffs. Finally got over the hill. Ended up beating Henderson Collegiate in the state championship. And it's just, this group never folded during crunch time. Honestly, Cam Caraway, Andrew Budinsky, Um, Jake Ledbetter, Mac McElhaney, both of the McElhaneys, honestly. Um, really, this group played well, and they're adding another player next year in Noah Allred. That's pretty darn good in his own right. So I believe this group is going to be just as tough next year, and they're going to be bringing a lot of confidence back as well. Moving on, we got to talk about North Davidson. The game I attended, the most recent one, the last one I attended, was their conference championship against Lexington High School. Great game, great environment. The crowd was really into it, loud. It was Liddy City. I'm not gonna flex. It was Liddy City. Great environment. Program is rising. Talent there. Theme is folks walking bucket. I mean, I don't understand how the kid wins County Player of the Year, Davidson County Player of the Year, but doesn't win Conference Player of the Year in their conference. Or excuse me, yeah, basically. I don't understand how he didn't win Conference Player of the Year in their conference. Theme is folks. 35 points per game, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, getting it done on both ends. 5 40-point games. Davidson County Player of the Year. Didn't even get a nod for Conference Player of the Year. Not even a nod for Player of the Year in his conference. That's pretty wild. I think this kid's a walking bucket, first off. He does a lot of things well on the offensive end. He pressures the basketball, obviously. 3 steals per game. He's strong. Kid plays football too. Stocky build, and he took this team. He helped lead them to a state championship appearance in football too, on the gridiron. Multi-sport athlete. I think every D2 in the Carolinas in the Southeast region should be inquiring about him. Um, he's a guy that could play at the D1, the Division 1 level as well. I think he's definitely one to keep an eye on. He's crafty. He's good in traffic. He's good with the basketball. Good with the off the bounce. Like his game. Also, you got Jamarian Dalton, the youngster coming back next year. All conference performer. Landed Moore, all conference honorable mention. Both those guys will be back next year. I think the future looks pretty solid for North Davidson. I think they're a program that will continue to reach new heights as well. So definitely shout out to those guys. Shout out to Coach Mullen. Shout out to Coach Snyder. Always great hospitality out that way. So definitely keep an eye out for them. Revisiting the HBCU experience, I really enjoyed WSSU's senior night. The energy was contagious. They're really prideful about their school. Raised on Winston-Salem State football games myself. I'm familiar with the culture and, Red Nation, the pride, the Red Sea of Winston-Salem State. But just visiting for senior night this basketball season, man, it was unreal for both games, the women's and the men's game. They were hosting Johnson C. Smith, who featured some local standouts as well, former Triad standouts. But man, the energy was unreal. It's just unmatched. The crowd is just really, really into it. They're buying in with the music, the vibes, the game, the entire experience is just a vibe. First off, um, I didn't attend HBCU like I mentioned, but just seeing it from this perspective and being able to cover it and see it from the outside looking in, man, it just looks special. And they're, like I said, they're producing talent. We've seen guys go off, Jordan Perkins, Cam Langley, both guys, going off to HBCUs and really succeeded, along with countless others. And it's just, the culture is making some noise. I think it's definitely an option that kids shouldn't shy away from. Don't close your mind on it, consider it. it might be the fit for you. And it was special, man, to be a part of that, and also just to see that the program is growing. And the sky's the limit. Recently picked up Jalen Austin from Gardner Webb, transfer, played at Eastern Guilford High School. I've had the pleasure of speaking with him on multiple occasions, covering some of his games. They're bringing in some talent, and the guys that are on the current roster are excited about it. So definitely watch out for them. And moving on to some semi-pro action, because we got hoops at every level. So moving on, we got the Winston-Salem Wolves. Now they're repping for Winston-Salem, and they've really been hooping 4-0 in the ECBL Northwest Division so far. In year one, they making noise like the Vegas Knights, man. I'm telling you, doing their thing. Definitely some local standouts on the team. LaPriest Lynch, definitely the former standout out of Mount Tabor High School. Good for that squad. Zelenor Banks, also leading the team in scoring. Antonio Robinson, another local guy as well, played at Parkland High School. And these guys have formed a three-headed monster for this group. 4-0 in their first 4 games. I also caught their scrimmage. Impressive win they had there as well. They're deep. They play well together for their first year. There's chemistry. Coach Warford is a good coach. And it seems like he's got this group buying in. And they will next be in action Saturday. Definitely go check them out. Great experience. Physical level of basketball. They really let them play out there. A lot more physical than the college game. Semi-professional. And man, it's some good quality basketball. Not a bad way to spend your Saturday afternoon. Home games down at Forsyth Country Day School. So definitely go check those guys out. And that's a wrap for us this episode. When I'm coming with more heat very soon, so stay tuned. And sorry about the wait. For all the latest and the greatest, subscribe to Live with Brandon Blakney.